Welcome to Pride Against Prejudice, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
Hi, I'm Simon and I'm playing Huggy Bear.
Hi, I'm Al and I'll be playing Maverick.
Hi, I'm Jack and I play Toyger.
Hi, I'm Michael and I'll be playing Sunshine.
And my name is Rhydian, I am the GM. If you would like any bonus content, a link to our living campaign map can be found in the show notes, along with a link to our Discord where you can get occasional bonus episodes, and if you'd like to add locations to the map or just ask us questions, you're welcome to join us there. If you stick about for a few seconds at the end of the episode, we also have a question for you as well. Following content may contain themes and materials not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Before we dive into the episode, here's some pay data on another one of the Shadowrun podcasts out there for you to listen to.
Hello, Stuffer Shack customer. How may I stuff your shack?
That's right. We're back to stuff your shack, chummer. Grab yourself a handful of stuffers, microwave those instant burritos, and get ready to get back to the shack.
Are you Shadowrunners?
No, we're Stuffer Shack employees.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. This is really strange.
Returning by popular demand, this re-release of the hit 2017 Shadowrun Anarchy actual play podcast follows Mika and Augustus, two underperforming clerks,
I don't think we're getting an award, man. That doesn't sound right.
as they stumble through the trials and tribulations of working the night shift in a Redmond Baron's convenience store. Remastered, bigger, bolder, girthier.
I like giving Brad shit. I like ruining Brad's day. I like when Brad ruins my day. Oh my god, Mika.
I think you might have a thing for Brad.
Tales from the Stuffer Shack.
You guys have been going at this for a while.
Yeah, and the sick twisted part is that I can't imagine my life without him.
Now that the team aren't working for someone else, they look to get their skills and gear in order. And Toyger asks for some help to find out more about his cousin's situation. After your last run, Sunshine got the talk. That was on the 30th, which was the day of the election. We're going to skip forward in time a little bit from there to the 2nd of September to allow some time for the run that Dutch ran for you. The results are in on the election. Evan Harper got absolutely wiped. He was expected to maybe win, it was pretty sure to be him or another candidate. The polls weren't 100% which, but it was looking pretty likely that he could win. No, he got 10% of the vote that he was expected to. He has just been utterly obliterated, torpedoed behind the waterline, crashed and burned, sinking rapidly. So, as I say, we've skipped forward a little bit to accommodate the run which Dutch ran for you, where you had to go and collect a mini-disc. What would you like to do from here, folks? What's happening?
Sunshine is at home with the cat, mostly just oddly doing a lot of kind of magical research, trying to figure stuff out on the Matrix.
Okay.
Looking at different traditions, what other people are up to. She's scribbling a mixture of notes on both on her comlink and on AROs, there's post-it notes, various things that have been ripped off a notepad, scrunched up on the floor everywhere. There are pizza boxes. It's
hang on. On actual paper. Oof, ritzy.
Oh god, I did get some from the from Pion's shop.
Fair enough.
There's various sort of marginalia been written in on books, and these are old books, so these have got other people's marginalia.
Oh yeah, one of them was a kid's textbook or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all a bit bonkers.
Alright. Huggy, what were you doing on the 30th when Sunshine was getting the talk and getting very high on deep weed?
Huggy and Lutzog will be redoing the mural on the side of Grendel's mother.
I didn't know it had a mural on it. What's the mural of?
Well, it did have a mural on it, and then we had to paint the van in order to cover up after the hit-and-run job, and then we had to paint it over again after the other hit-and-run job.
Oh, from one of the runs we did before we started the podcast, yeah.
Yeah. So the way that the standard painting method is for both of us to find some new and interesting psychedelics and then go and attack the paint collections that Lutzog has.
Fair. So you're spending a few days off your tits painting a van.
Yes.
All right.
So when we come around, the resultant mural is of the drone, Huggy's drones, represented as the characters that they are, represented as the characters that they are named after.
Yeah.
Having a tea party, a sort of Mad Hatter's tea party, with the roof being the table in the center.
Fair enough.
It is done in what can only be described as an impressionistic style.
Okay, fair enough.
Very modern art.
When Toyger next sees this, can I roll my art skills to give, like, honest critique of it, or is that a highway to a punch in the face?
Oh, Huggy is not very... Huggy is entirely aware that her art skills are not top-notch. This is less about making making good art and more about getting high vis Lutzog and painting the van. It is the process in itself that is the desired outcome.
Okay, so we've shuffled along a little bit. You had 2 days that you were on the job that Dutch was running for you. It's now the second. Huggy has a freshly painted van. What are you all doing?
Huggy is going to, based on the fact that she had to spend so much time modding the drone and had so much headaches modding the drone for the blood theft job, that she's going to start. She's going to go back and open up her old textbook on drone engineering and try and get her skills back up to where she thinks they should be.
So if you are wanting to increase your mechanic skill, I will let you, because those are so closely related. If you want to train your groundcraft and aircraft skills at the same time, that's fine.
That would be ideal.
What are you going up to?
I think I can only afford to bring them up to 3 each.
Okay, so according to the 5th ed training rate table, that would only take you a day anyway. So if you want to put both of those up to rating 3, absolutely cool, go for it. Toyger, what are you doing on the 2nd after giving Sunshine the talk and the other job?
So I picked up the formula for acid stream from Pion while I was there. I'm probably going to be sitting about trying to learn that.
Alright.
What kind of acid is that?
Magical acid that I conjure with magic.
Pretty much.
Yes, but is it the fun trip acid or is it the unpleasant burning acid?
So I've done some limited mucking about with it. I've managed to get it to eat through sheet steel so far. So yeah, the fumes it gives off, not pleasant at all.
We will need to do a couple of rolls for this. Alright, so you've got a pool of 8 dice for this. With your magic and intuition, you actually get the... Let's see. Oh wow, you actually get the requisite 5 successes in 1 day, so it only takes you 1 roll. So yeah, you now know the acid stream spell. So how is Toyger going about learning this in his flat, or is he going out somewhere else to do it?
So it is easier to do these things in a magician's lodge, which Toyger's flat is. After he made the first sort of permanent mark in the floor after eating through a cushion, he's gone up onto the roof of his building. So it's one of those huge sky rakers. You got some dirty looks with the chip heads on floor 46, but
I think that floor keeps changing.
Yeah, this building is sort of bizarre quantum behavior. If it has as many floors as it needs, and which floor people inhabit is likewise randomized. Anyway, they gave him some guff. He snapped his fingers, and a spirit appeared and snarled at them, and that was more than they were willing to put up with.
Yeah, those chip heads, they'll back off as long as you don't try and come in. If you try and come in, there's a really mean troll in there. They usually have him on the door. His brain's mostly fried, but he understands the concept of being pointed in the right direction and applying violence.
Yeah, no, he had there was a fist fight between him and Mrs. K at one point. They had to stop when they started threatening the foundations of the building. Anyway, so there's chunks of concrete that the place is built out of. There's bits of metal. There's some wooden crates and what have you. And for some reason unknown to anyone that Toyger's been able to ask, there's a chunk of limestone as well. Just a limestone boulder. And he's variously just sort of standing over them and casting the spell. And it looks like these little sort of, if I say gold, oil yellow, cooking oil yellow, it's sort of just condensed out of thin air around his hand and then dribble onto...
I imagine it's like you're squeezing the juice from an orange or something like that with your hand.
Yeah, it's an invisible orange. Yeah, these little droplets of golden oil appear, they dribble onto things, and those things tend to dissolve. He's now working on standing away from the chunk of limestone and getting it to fire in a way that he appreciates. His aim is not great. It's a good thing no one lives on the top floor of this building, because he absolutely has given it some new skylights.
All right, Mav, what have you been up to? Are you still working on training your magic?
Back to the gym.
Okay, so you're in the gym, and again, Marty's been handing off a lot of this to Hazel because he's got other drep to do, and he knows that Hazel's a really good personal trainer, and she's worked you through your calisthenics again, and she's helping you with your dodging, which is, yeah, Hazel, I totally believe you. What she's actually doing is she's using it as an opportunity to practice her discus throwing and throwing weight plates at you and making you dodge them.
It's a good incentive to learn to dodge.
Yeah. I mean, bloody hell, the girl's picking up the 25 kilo ones and heaving those at you. You don't want to get clipped by it, and she's getting a remarkable amount of distance on those.
Mm-hmm. I ain't getting in the way of them.
That reminds me, I need to take some time out and see... what's his name? Oh god, how could I forget his name? You literally just said it.
Marty?
Marty.
You going on a date?
I it's been a while since I've been last in the gym, so... I should probably go again.
That's an excuse to go on a date.
I'm absolutely not using it as an excuse to see Marty.
Mm-hmm.
After your workout, you and Hazel are sat there with sports drinks. They taste foul, of course they do. Covered in sweat. Hazel turns to you and says, "You know what, Mav?
What, Hazel?
You've not hit on me once while we've been training together. Most guys do that within about 20 minutes.
Mav consciously says nothing in response to that.
You're tolerable. I've got a fight in 2 weeks' time. If you want to come, you're welcome to. I am not asking you out."
Noted. Yeah, sure. I'll come watch. And I see you getting some stuff yeeted at you instead of all of it coming my way.
You never know. I might get to throw my opponent at you. Hazel nods at you and says, "All right, it's in Shore Acres. It's the unaugmented women's MMA ring."
Where are the frag is Emerson Hill?
It's in Staten Island. It's a D-rated area next to the Verranzo Narrows Bridge.
Oh, Emerson Hill. The small one, yes.
Yeah, no cyberware. None of your magic, Drac. Just skill.
I look forward to seeing it.
All right. Also, work on your form. Those pull-ups, you can do better, Mav.
Noted, Hazel. Thank you.
She actually smiles and says, "You're welcome."
Nice to see Hazel's getting over a crush on Marty. Hopefully she doesn't try and kill Huggy again.
With a 25 kilo weight to the face.
I mean, Huggy's not like a small person. She could conceivably throw it back.
Potentially.
What strength is Huggy?
Huggy is strength 5.
You're only 1 point stronger than me.
Yeah.
So Hazel's probably about the same strength, given she's an elf and unaugmented. Maybe a point higher, but not much stronger.
Huggy doesn't have a lot of natural muscle, but honestly, people forget that being a mechanic involves a lot of physical labor. A lot of lifting, a lot of trying to make this particular vice turn in this particular direction, and sometimes turning the things that need to be turned into liquid isn't an option. Like when you're trying to fix a gas main.
The bolt can't be stuck if it's liquid.
Liquids don't get stuck.
I invite you to try and fix a sewer sometime. You'll find that liquids can indeed get fucking stuck.
And you'll find that those aren't liquids.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
Party to this, like, relevant to this conversation, like, message pops up in the group chat from Toyger. It's like, hey guys, watch this. And it's just like, Toyger's obviously holding, like, the comm link, like, close to his chest, and holding what looks like a skull in his hand, and then he does a new spell and just crumble into, like, dust and mist. I was like, isn't that cool? Is the next message after that.
That's fucking terrifying, and I say that in a good way.
Not sure where the acid comes from, not sure how it works, but then he just posts a video of the skull getting pulped again.
It's not toxic, is it?
Toyger.
I don't know how toxic works.
Oh, no.
Toyger, there's a paper by a Professor Cano. It's about metaphysical manifestations on our plane of reality. It might be of interest to you, and she throws you over an arrow link to a Jackpoint subthread where somebody's put a pirated copy of the research paper up because it's paywalled normally.
Is that A Kano or T Kano? Because I've seen like T Kano like hitting on waitresses young enough to be his granddaughter.
I don't know. Caltech?
No, different Kano. Super. I'll give that a read. I'm actually kind of interested in how this is working. I know I'm pulling it from somewhere. I'm just not sure where.
Yeah, I can't quite follow what he's going on about. I don't have, to be fair, I don't have like 3 degrees in this subject. I don't even have a high school diploma.
Magic was my minor at uni. If you need any help or any explaining of esoteric terms, just send me a message. Honestly, half the words in these papers, they make them up on the spot to make themselves sound clever. It's why I gave up on being a hermetic.
Oh god, same with his tone tech. The number of like new buzzwords, like, oh god. I actually, especially when you're translating from English or Japanese into German, and the Linguisoft tries to amalgamate the words, and you just get these. I know that the Germans is famously bad for shove all the words together, but oh god, some of the translated words are just you can't understand them, because what the word actually means is in the center of this word, but then the word itself means 3 other different things, and god.
It's like a human centipede where the front and the back are unknowable eldritch horrors from beyond the veil of space and time, and the thing in the middle is like an armadillo or something.
Yeah, only the thing in the middle is like really, really basic terms for expressing how Wi-Fi transmission signals decay over space and time. And the 2 things on either side of it are ways to try and persuade Ares to hire you.
don't you miss the corpse? On a
No.
No.
I really don't.
I've-
If I have to read another drone tech paper that is literally just, not literally, but could be replaced with a shot of the writer sucking off an Ares corp penis, then I will probably stop reading research papers.
I knew a guy with an Ares tattoo on his penis.
And on that note, my train of thought has just crashed and burned.
All the thoughts of that hot, sweaty Ares penis.
It wasn't even like the Ares Studmaster 4, it was just his regular flesh and blood, like, phallus that he'd gotten the Ares logo tattooed onto for some reason. Yeah, strange, man. Anyway,
That is absolutely what the Ares cyber penis is called.
Sunshine in the chat. Yeah.
Anyway, Sunshine, have you actually managed to do any magic yet, apart from like the usual enhancing your skills while you're on the Matrix? Like, have you shot lightning out of your fingertips or turned invisible? Or...
No, you're saying like I have to find a tradition and stuff. I'm still, I don't know. I mean, she sends you a photo of her living room. It's
Research Central?
It's sort of...
Do you have a crazy wall with string?
Yes, except it's been written, instead of string, it's conductive ink pen. And it's the floor. And, like, what it's connecting is, like, Fuvark runes to hermetic symbols.
Please tell me the conductive pen marks are not plugged into the mains.
Yeah.
Sunshine, that little bit in like the top right, much to the annoyance of like that entire half my family, I don't read or understand Mandarin, but it looks an awful lot like the character for tits. And it's connecting onto like the Enochian symbol for like desire.
Toyger, I stare at this.
You're the last person I would expect to be seeing tits in hieroglyphs.
I mean,
Is there something you need to tell us, Toyger?
I never learned Cantonese. Dad thought it would be like...
Neither did I!
Guys, the more when I stare at this too long, it seems to be reforming itself into a pentagram. Should I be worried?
Yeah, I've been seeing that too, but I think that's just how this goes.
It's horrifically pedestrian, if nothing else. I mean, pentagrams, good heavens. You'll be riding on a broomstick next.
As I blink, and then it goes back to normal, and then I stare at it for a couple of seconds, and it starts going. I'm going to stop looking at this. It makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Okay, if you ever want to get really freaked out, get high and then try and read something written in Enochian.
Misty really likes it though. Although, yeah, I was using string, but she kept playing with it. But yeah, no, she liked hanging out in the pentagram. Listen, I put the comm link over next to Misty, and you can hear the rumblies.
Oh yeah, no, that's a cat thing. They seem to sense sources of magic, although we're not clear what they do with it. They just seem to know that they're there.
It's because they can see Octarine. Hang on, wrong franchise.
That or like magic is like beer and cats are very absorbent.
So, Toyger has been learning spells on the roof and making people who are unfortunate enough to try and occupy the top floor of the building, nobody does that for very long, very miserable indeed, as there is suddenly even more ventilation than there was, and you could have already used that floor as a shower.
Wouldn't recommend it though.
No. Well, I mean, there's acid rain anyway. It just got worse for a couple of days. Huggy is elbows deep in drones and drone textbooks. Sunshine has gone down an absolute rabbit hole of weird magical theory. By the way, if you want to take a knowledge skill in magical theory, Sunshine, that is absolutely fine.
Will do, yes.
Yeah, you've spent an entire day researching it, so that seems fair. Why the hell not?
Cool.
And Mav has spent the day getting weight plates flung at him.
Why is it always the weight plates?
Because Hazel really wants to practice her discus throwing, and it's a good way to do it.
It's also a good way of learning how to throw a punch, apparently. I've been taking notes with Marty.
Yeah, that tracks, given she's an MAA fighter. MAA? No, MMMMMA.
MMA. 2 M's, 1 A.
Nah.
I hadn't... Oh, this hurts my dyslexia.
Good, roll to resist psychic damage.
We're not playing Cthulhu.
Good, because you wouldn't have any sanity left.
Oh no, that's long since gone. I'm a GM, of course I don't have any sanity. So yeah, as you've been trading with Hazel there, Mav, on the day that she offers to, you're alright, you can come watch me fight, this is not a date. You can actually feel like you've pushed through some kind of barrier, and suddenly it just gets easier. You don't know why, it's just easier. And then you have that moment of, oh, yeah, I've pushed my magic. Oh yeah. So bump up your magic, mate.
I'm gonna spend 50 karma here.
50 karma? What are you dropping that on?
That is magic 5 to 6 and Way of the Warrior.
The quality.
The quality from Way of the Adept.
Awesome. Sunshine, you were wanting to ask me something, weren't you?
Yes. Could I buy a rating 6 copy of Exploit, please? I'm pretty sure Tin Hat can get it for me if I can put up with enough of his bulldrek.
Tin Hat.
So I'll use Tin Hat's data search to see if he can get you a copy of that. One moment.
Yep.
Alright, so it'll take him about 5 days to get that for you as he trawls the dark corners of the Matrix and Jackpoint. When he hands it over, though, you do get some absolutely crazy bulldrek nonsense about how Hesterby is guarding an egg at the moment that Lothweir sired, and she's never going to let Lothweir have it, and just give me the program, Tin Hat, please.
Tin Hat, this is the whole... Oh, this is like the Vitas Plague was secretly released by the Illuminati all over again. My guy, no, it has nothing to do with Rosalind Chapel.
No, Sunshine, Rosalind Chapel has to do with everything.
Alright, so you've all had a chance to do a little bit of downtimey stuff. So while you're waiting on this, the news feeds have been going absolutely mental in the last few days. There's the bombing of the bridge, they're wondering if it's linked to the bombing of the Metahuman Pride Parade, they're linking it to new anarchists,
What about the bombing on the warehouse?
And the bombing on the warehouse, yeah. It looks like the news feeds, most of them, particularly Horizon, are now pushing the narrative that it was neo-anarchists that did it, that did all of it, in fact. They seem to be kind of distancing anti-metahuman hate groups from it a little bit and focusing on neo-anarchists more. As well as this, you've got the crazy that's going on with Evan Harper as his wife, who, if you remember, she's a prosecutor for NYPD Inc. She is very, very publicly initiating divorce proceedings against him on the grounds that he lied throughout the marriage and stuff like that. You've also got Anthony Powell, the UCAS senator, disavowing him hard. It's getting a little bit crazy. And on Saturday the 3rd, the news feeds are going absolutely ballistic again. Because he's been found at, his wife's thrown him out of the house. That was all over the news feeds as well, of him getting tossed out of the gate, basically just a bag of his possessions. Yeah, Evan Harper's just been found hanged in his hotel room.
What? I mean, that was pretty much expected, wasn't it?
The news feeds are all saying it's probably suicide.
Sure.
Not an unreasonable assumption, but the amount of things that are suicide.
Yeah. Oh well, couldn't have happened to a nicer man.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, Toyger, have you been doing anything as regards what your cousin contacted you about?
Oh dear. So
Toyger's just been basically pacing back and forth in his flat every time when he's not like asleep or actually trying to learn a new spell. He isn't great on the Matrix, unfortunately, so he's just trying to do all he can to learn about Cornville as much as is possible. He doesn't have many contacts left in high society, really, like no one that would certainly speak to him or doesn't already think he's dead. So basically the only thing he can do is pace and worry and pace. One interesting thing that's really getting to him is that he was in like Bar Harbor for a while. He was in Maine. He was reasonably close to where this school is when he started getting the dreams from Kat telling him to go to New York. So now he's thinking, why the fuck did she send me here when I could have been much closer at hand and able to help? And it's all starting to get to him a little bit. He's going grey at the temples, his hair is falling out. He's probably aged about 6 years in the past week and a bit.
Yeah, that seems kind of reasonable. Have you tapped up Sunshine to do any other Matrix work to try and find out more about it, or anything similar?
Sunshine's had an awful lot on her plate recently. I don't want to put anything more in front of her. Quiet text at like a reasonable time in the afternoon. Hey, how's the magic going? Do you want a distraction?
Well, Misty won't let me have one of the books.
Which one?
The Compendium of Hermetic Theories. Yeah, every time, I think it's the second edition, that every time I try and get it, she grabs it in her mouth and runs off with it. It's really weird. It's a heavy book! Misty! Why is my cat stealing my magic book?
You get a picture message and it's Toyger holding like another copy of that book, but it's like, do you know how when you try and when you print something off at university, you get like white sheets between two clear sheets of cellophane with the black plastic binding along the spine?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that book, but rather than being like an actual textbook, it's just that.
Ooh.
You can borrow mine if you help me with something.
Yeah, sure. What do you want help with?
I am completely hopeless on the Matrix. I had an awful lot of help on it through uni, and I just never bothered to learn. I was always more interested in like stuff I can actually do, like magic and spirits and stuff.
Okay.
I'm hitting a wall on how much I can dig up about this place that Ivan sent Alexandra to. Could you help? You Matrix it? Would you?
I mean, yeah, sure, Toyger. Just send me what you've got on the place.
Thank you very, very much. I owe you massively. I will figure out a way to pay you and the others for this run. And then you get like some very basic info on the place that Toyger has, like where it is. It's in Maine somewhere. I will leave it up to the GM to decide exactly where.
You've already searched for this place on the Matrix, so you're able to dig through a little bit more information. You've been told about it by Toyger. He's told you that it's already had a lot of scandals and stuff like that. And you eventually dig up something. It seems to be it's like a public statement, a press release that was put out about 2 years ago, maybe 3. And there's not been anything since. Like, there hasn't really been anything in the news or any new scandals since. It's calmed down a lot.
Okay, so Sunshine spends a while Matrix searching for this school. He's just got the name of the school to go on and go, okay, I think I found some stuff. Okay, location, that's easy. Ooh, okay, got the... Yeah, okay, yeah, corporate, front page, yeah, okay, usual, tells you absolutely nothing. Really, not even a contact us? Seriously? What a joke. Ooh, actually, hang on. This is interesting. Found some media statement they put out a while ago. It's dated... It's about a year ago? Almost exactly a year ago. Yeah, let me send this over to you. I send the attach it to an ARO and fling it over to Toyger via the Matrix.
It's awful. I'm reading it. I dislike it immensely. If I wanted buzzwords, I'd talk to a beehive.
They're very insistent that they don't use solitary confinement.
They are very insistent like that.
Yeah, they're very keen to tell you what they're not doing.
Yeah, all these scores are in the high 90s. That's
Yeah, these scores are bulldreck.
You're brainwashing.
You're asking a load of school kids.
18 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah, okay. So a bunch of school leaver young students to fill out a satisfaction form. They are not returning 98.2% plus. Oh no, wait, there's a 97 point.
I'm deeply suspicious of anywhere claiming to be a school that has a hammer as part of its logo.
What is that? I don't speak it.
I'm deeply suspicious of anywhere that returns a 99% success rate on anything.
The fact that it's going up to like 100%.
Yeah, no, this is bullshit.
100% of students report that they were treated with dignity and respect. Either that isn't a school, or that wasn't students.
Toyger.
Yes.
What does the motto translate as?
Oh, it's Latin. Proscientia atque sapientia. For learning or knowledge and insight or wisdom.
For learning and insight, and their symbol is a hammer.
Yeah, a hammer, a shield, and 2 open books.
Is it a gavel?
It looks like a gavel.
And it kind of, the top half of the shield thing kind of looks like, those old-fashioned black hats. Like, in like old-timey flat trids where the judge would put it on before he pronounces the death penalty for the protagonist, who immediately gets out of it because of plot armor.
You and I watched very different trids.
Huggy, do you remember series 19 of what was it called? The Trials of Ruby, where in order to prove her innocence of virginity, she performs an erotic striptease in the middle of the courtroom.
What?
Okay.
No.
I both hate that you know about that, and I also hate that I've watched that and actually kind of like this crap. Oh, she was such a bad influence on me.
I am going to have to put that down on the list of things to watch.
I can't believe you've not seen the Trials of Ruby.
No, it's not one that I've picked up.
Oh my goodness.
Watch along sometime?
Oh yes, absolutely. But yes, more to the point. They've got something like, let's see, 100% of students, in the most recent one, 100% of students report they were treated with dignity and respect, they were satisfied with their treatment, they were feel better following discharge, but 0.3 report not feeling safe? That's concerning. That's very strange.
I'm also... Yeah, vague questions. And yeah, those percentage rates are just nonsense. Nobody returns.
30 on-site audits annually. Why, if you're doing so well, why do you need so many audits?
Is this being shared with the rest of us, or is it just you two at the moment?
I think us two are sharing it between us, but at this point it's going to get plonked in the group chat.
Yeah, I send it to the group chat with explanations of, hey guys, remember that job Toyger was asking us about? Have a look at this. And then we can all have a big old conflab about it.
Mav's first response is, those stats were made up.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I'm more concerned about? Maybe they weren't.
If they weren't made up,
then they're no longer...
They're not...
meta-humans who are answering it.
They're robots.
Does anybody have any academic knowledge skills or anything like that?
I have drawn mechanized agriculture.
I'm not sure that's going to be relevant.
literature, philosophy.
That is necessary to study ballistic sciences, which I have a knowledge skill in. So I clearly understand stats.
This is not really statistical. Could you give me your literature knowledge there?
Yeah, sure.
It's not related to the statistics, what I'm thinking of here.
Only got the one hit there.
Sunshine, they've referenced a specific law. Could you look that up and check if it's real? Wuxing Medical Services Regulation 127, Section 72, Subsection 12, paragraphs 37 to 1249.
Paragraphs 37 to 1249. That's going to be half a book.
It's a Wuxing thing. They wax lyrical. They believe that law should be written like poetry.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can see what I can find on that.
We'll read Chinese legal poetry for like 2 hours.
I get one hit trying to search for that particular.
It's a real law, but you can't make head nor tails of it. It's written in the most obtuse Confucian legalese possible. You would need a degree in law, Confucianism, and a 3rd degree in Confucianism law to actually make a damn thing out of it.
How many times does the word magpie crop up?
Every other sentence.
Oh, it's one of the big nasty ones, yeah.
Why? Magpie? Why?
There's a thematic link between magpies being... They subvert and contravene the law of heaven, but they do so in a way that is honourable and promotes interharmony between people. It's a very deep symbolic meaning in a lot of Chinese poetry.
There's 2 paragraphs here that stand out to me.
I will have to take your word on that. I am the wrong flavour of Asian.
What paragraphs stand out to you, Huggy?
We do not condone or promote any form of abuse, and any alleged suspected abuse is reported immediately to appropriate regulatory authorities, law enforcement and child protective services as required. We are committed to providing high-quality care to youth with special and often complex emotional, behavioral, and psychiatric needs, which is modified by this 2nd paragraph. We are concerned that the current media coverage may increase the stigma around seeking help for behavioral health concerns. This would be a disservice if it leads people away from seeking necessary care and increases the stigma around mental health that providers, organizations, advocates, and members of the public have worked so hard and made much progress over the years to break. What is the media coverage that they are referring to?
Yeah. What was going on in the news in October 71?
We'll come back to that in a sec, but Sunshine, with your earlier roll where you get 1 hit,
yeah,
there's something in the 4th paragraph. You're not sure what. There's something about that 4th paragraph that's just niggling at you.
Toyger, can you have a quick look at this? You know this corporate bulldrek better than I do. I've highlighted this bit. Have a look.
Bourneville Reform Finishing School is an intensive psychiatric residential treatment centre for youth between ages of 18 and 22. We offer innovative, evidence-based therapeutic interventions, academic instruction, life skills training, and vocational training tailored to the needs of each of our students. In addition to the latest magical psychiatric therapies, our treatment is holistic in nature and supports wellness strategies including education, vocational activity, physical activity, nutritious foods, and appropriate structured outdoor time. Magical psychiatric...
Quote, magical psychiatric therapies, end quotes, question mark.
Bollocks is what it is.
Wait a minute. Magical psychiatric therapies.
There are no such thing.
You can use magic to influence people's thoughts and actions, encourage and promote certain emotions, suppress others.
What did the... Oh, what was the name? The weird bug people up in... up north somewhere. Chicago?
Insect spirits?
No, the people who were turning people into bug people.
Universal Brotherhood?
Yeah, what did they advertise?
Why do I know? Oh, I know this. It's fragging Tin Hat. Although I think he was actually right on that one.
You're not... And please tell me this isn't a Universal Brotherhood front organization.
Because magical psychiatric therapies sounds like the kind of things that they were advertising.
Sunshine, go dig out some old UB propaganda.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second. 3 hits.
With 3 hits, there's a similar flavour, but it feels quite different. It's advertising different things, like the UB was all about come and be the person you were meant to be, whereas these people are much more...
We will beat you into the person you were meant to be.
Pay us to take your broken young adults and we'll mould them into what you want them to be.
How old is your cousin, Toyger?
Should be 18, 19 in September.
So she's in the right age range.
Wait, it is September. 18, 19 in November.
I don't like magical psychiatric therapies.
Neither do I.
And I don't like... I'm going to have a look for what the media coverage that they're talking about. What was the media covering regarding Cornwall back in October of 71?
It's something of a relief they've got no connections to the Universal Brotherhood, because if they were, I was going to summon Spider himself and set him loose. Very glad I don't have to do that.
That's 2 hits on a browse roll.
So with your 2 hits, it doesn't take a lot of digging. They were getting into some pretty serious dread over this. The current owners of the school were not the owners back then. It seems like they were using... As it says, we're totally not using solitary confinement so many times in this media statement. They were doing that. There was lots of physical restraint happening, some quite dangerous physical restraint techniques. The ones they teach to Lone Star, as a matter of fact, being used on sort of 18, 20-year-olds, stuff like that. Some of the kids there at that point in time who were older and were discussing it in the media were talking about how they were only ever referred to as their student number, that sort of thing. Lots of quite dark dreck going on.
Yeah, guys, you probably want to see some of this media stuff. Like,
I don't think I do. I mean, I'm going to look at it, but I just want it on record that I don't want to look at this.
They're owned by Wuxing now. Who are they owned by before?
Based on your research there, Huggy, they seem to have been previously owned by Renraku, or a subsidiary of Renraku anyway.
Oh, joyous. Happy days. What could possibly go wrong?
So that was the people who Renraku sold it to Wuxing in 68.
When was the arcology incident?
So that was back in the 50s, wasn't it?
Early 2060s.
But it's not the same time as this.
It's well after. This is nearer to the crash. It was in 2059. Crash 2.0 was 64. So this was a few years after the crash.
So it's not Crash Shakeout either.
Renraku's been doing, comparatively speaking, I mean, they're still one of the Big Ten, kind of badly ever since the shutdown.
This is probably just them shutting down any operations that wasn't making money.
It's also something that was getting bad press.
Yeah. And they can't afford bad press right now. Well, they couldn't afford press.
They can't afford more bad press.
Yeah.
It mentions that they get their educators from Cognia/Advance ED. Could someone look into them, check their real companies, and not, like, I don't know, infested with toxic spirits or secretly cannibal clowns or something?
Why clowns?
Cannibal clowns were the worst thing I could think of.
Okay, Toyger. I'll take... Yep. That's it.
Who is this Dr. Stephanie... Boy? Boiseau? Boiseau?
Give me a second and I will look at it and read it in my best French accent. Dr. Stephanie Boiseau.
Right, I'm going to go and have a
You
look.
missed the acute there.
I don't
definitely.
speak French.
She's
That's 2 hits on looking up her.
Alright, so when you look her up online...
Say the name, Red.
Stéphane.
Say the name. I want to hear your French.
So when you look up Stephanie Boiseau, the 2 bits of information you find just on a cursory matrix glance are that she seems to be the former senior medical and thalmopsychology researcher at Wuxing, or a former researcher. She also seems to have come from a fairly poor background, but her magical and intellectual gifts got her a full Wuxing scholarship all the way through college.
She's coming into this as a pharmaceutical doctor.
As a thaumaturgical doctor.
She seems to be a researcher in medical and thalmopsychology.
So, Toyger should probably have knowledge skills of, like, he has high society. It should probably be Wuxing high society. Could I roll my high society to see if I've heard of this woman before?
Yeah, go for it.
Roly-poly. 2 hits.
You've heard a little bit about her. She's, particularly over the last few years, you've heard people mutter about, oh, such and such, who's known as a problem child, was sent to see Dr. Boiseau and stuff like that. You've heard little bits here and there, but you've never met her. You did also once overhear your mother discussing a project that she had formerly worked on that was proving incredibly profitable, but you didn't give a crap about the details.
I think Mum knew this woman, and I think I've heard of people referring to her when she was running her own private practice. Honestly, all the names eventually blur together, especially the French ones. She was known to fix problem children, in the same way you would fix an overly randy puppy.
Can't you do that by snipping them?
Cut away the problematic bit.
Great!
Okay, that's horrifying. I don't know much about magic stuff. How easy is it to break someone's brain with magic?
You've seen me do it, Huggy.
Yeah, but
That's
that was
not
temporary.
breaking someone's brain. That's just...
You've made people shit themselves, like...
So what I'm doing is... It's a child playing with Meccano compared to what you do, Huggy. You can take it leaps and bounds beyond. I can nudge someone's free will into doing things that they normally wouldn't do. There are magicians out there who can take a person's individuality and crush it like a paper butterfly. It's really quite horrifying to watch. I like my mischief, I don't like that.
So, is that maybe what they're doing here? Is that what they mean when they say magic psychiatric therapies?
It would appear so, yes.
I mean, we don't know that. But this is what I say when I'm saying my concern is that those survey results are accurate. Also, those survey results seem to be getting better over time.
Yeah, I noticed that. Thus...
Oh good, Dr. Boiseau's a mind mage.
I mean, satisfaction survey result getting better is a standard thing you report when your satisfaction reports are getting better.
Yes, but my concern is that they're not getting... If these results... Assuming, taking from the benchline assumptions that these results are actually accurate, and they aren't faking them.
They're faking them.
Yes, but assuming that they aren't, if we take that as a baseline assumption, which may or may not be accurate, it's probably fake. That means they're getting better at whatever it is they're doing to these people's brains.
Yeah. This is... Is anyone else getting serious horror movie vibes off this place?
I mean, from the start, yeah.
Dr. Rousseau is a mind mage, and she has her fingers in Alexandra's head. Like, you can hear the fingers drumming again.
Yeah, that seems to be a bad thing.
I am calm. I am extremely calm. I am
You
not
really
going
shouldn't
to
be.
melt
This
anything.
is fucking shit.
And melt your palm.
It wasn't that funny.
It kind of was. It was very, very huggy.
It was perfectly timed and had just the right of German dry humour that I like. So piss off, Mav, I enjoyed it. Carry on.
The important thing to remember, Toyger, is that there is no spell that changes someone's mind like that. Anything like this, magical, chemical, psychological, takes a lot of time. We should not dawdle, but we have an amount of time to get your cousin out of this place.
And they've only been there for, what, a week or so?
Week. A second is too long, but...
Yes, but unfortunately they've been there for more than a second.
It's fine. I'm remarkably calm about all of this.
No, you're not.
We're going to go there. We're going to rescue Alexandra. I'm going to find this Dr. Rousseau. I'm going to open her belly with a butter knife and have every rat in Maine burrow in and chew its way out. And then I'll have a cup of tea and a pleasant lunch.
So, my concern is that if... Oh, fuck. There's no good way to do this.
We need eyes on this place. We need eyes on this place who can sense.
I think...
And we need information about Alexandra's treatment, as it were.
What we need to do is try and track down somebody who has recently left.
That was my thinking.
What, and just have a look at them?
Yeah, see what's been done to them.
See if they're carrying around insect spirit.
Or some other kind of spirit. There are lots of kinds of unfriendly spirits that'd be happy to fuck with somebody's brain.
Most of them won't ride a person around like a fairground horse for a long period.
I don't know anything about them. I just know that they're fucking terrifying.
That's true.
So, I think our first port of call for trying to work out what's going on in there is to track down someone who's got out.
So we either need patient records or high society gossip.
High society, I can help with.
Probably.
I mean, as far as everyone knows, Cecil de Peralto is dead, but there's no reason I can't be a cousin. I've got any number of those.
Can you work the high society rumour mill and find someone who was sent to Cornville and graduated?
I can do my best. I mean, Hannah intimated that she didn't want me calling her until Alexandra was safe, but quite frankly, I never liked Hannah all that much. She was my best friend and I couldn't be having with her at all. So, I'm going to call my second favourite cousin. We're going to try and get eyes on Cornwall. We're going to kick the door in. We're going to rescue all these poor unfortunate kids, and we're going to raise the place to the ground with the staff inside it. Any further questions from the class?
Yes, I've got one question.
Who made you the teacher?
Yeah, I'm not sure, given the whole circumstances surrounding this job. I'm not sure I'm totally comfortable with you referring to us as the class.
Why is it every time I try and speak, I end up stepping in something? And you hear like a thump of like somebody like slumping to the floor and cuddling up and like curling up into the Toyger sadness ball.
Oh, nice. Well, there's a few other things that Huggy would like to do during downtime. She's been looking into, well, we have been having consistent problems with the fact that nobody on this team knows how to do any kind of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been looking at what I could conceivably do to fix this. I looked into the cost and time of taking a medical course and immediately decided that no, I'm not doing that. And then I looked into a few drones that I could buy, but the good ones are expensive and the bad ones are massive, like the size of a small car. But the ones that are the size of a small car have a thing installed in them called a Valkyrie module. And I reckon if I can get a second-hand Valkyrie module, or even a first-hand Valkyrie module, I reckon I can get a Valkyrie module installed into Grendel's mother. It does mean that somebody sitting in the back will have to sit in or on the Valkyrie module. It's going to take up most of the rest of the seating space.
I mean, it's a medical bed, right? So we can just, like, attach sitting up seat belts to it, and it's basically a bench seat.
Yeah, that's
as long as you don't turn it on.
But I reckon it's not going to be comfortable is the point, because it's going to be designed for lying down and being...
Okay, your van is not comfortable.
It's going to be less comfortable.
Day.
I don't know if this is something that you guys think it's worth me investing in.
Given how often Toyger gets shot, I think it's worth it.
I get shot a lot.
I've done some looking around and looking at prices. I reckon it's going to be about 8,000, which given that we just got a payday, I think I can put it together with what I've got. What do people think?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I think it's an excellent idea.
Agreed.
I'd be willing to chip in.
I don't need you guys to chip in now. If you do chip in, then we need to buy more medical supplies for it. But I'll put it together myself, and I can use it for my work as well. It means I can have a little mini ambulance running around fresh kills to help people out.
But the most important question, what are you going to name your Valkyrie module?
Well, it's just going to be it's not a drone in and of itself. So I don't have a name for it. If you want to name it, go nuts. Oh, name it after a German saint. All of the hospitals are named after saints.
Saint Bathilda, the patron saint of artillery and nuclear strikes?
Why is that? Why does that come immediately to your mind, Toyger?
Because she's the best patron saint.
Right, is that so? How do you spell that again? What was the name?
Let me double check my thinking. I'm sure
I have to ask. Out of characters, the GM, is that a Toyger thing or is that a real thing?
No, that's a real thing.
Oh, fuck me.
Of course it is. Why would you doubt
is there a
Jack?
patron saint of nuclear strikes?
Well, you want it to work.
So basically, her dad was a pagan, but she was a good Christian woman, and she prayed, like, God, do not make me marry a pagan. So God smote the entire city with lightning and killed everyone in it except her. And then her dad's brothers took her and kidnapped her back to his city and tried to make her marry one of his pagan mates. And precisely the same thing happened.
Christ, Catholicism. I don't think Jesus Christ would approve.
Yeah, she's the patron saint of artillery, heavy munitions, and nuclear strikes.
I mean, the Russian Orthodox Church, like, regularly goes around blessing weapons up to and including ICBMs.
There's also Saint Seraphim of Sarov, who is the Russian Orthodox saint of nuclear arsenal.
I like that one. What was that one again, Mav?
Saint Seraphim.
The one I was looking for was Saint Barbara.
Yeah, because obviously after the 10.5 million points of fire damage, that extra plus d6 holy damage is what's going to make the difference.
Well, the nuclear nukes work on bug spirits.
Anyway, I'm leaving this dystopia the fuck alone. Can we go back to Shadow?
The Valkyrie module will be officially christened the Holy Hospital of St. Seraphim and St. Barbara.
You've been shot getting Barb. Okay. This is a thing now.
I mean, you could have called it Hildegard.
I could have called it Hildegard.
Why Hildegard?
Hildegard of Bingen, patron saint of mystical theology, medicine, botany, natural history, music, and literature.
Oh, I know Saint Hildegard. Yeah, she was like a bloody genius, and she was made to be a nun.
She was one of the best musicians of the Middle Ages.
Benedictine abbess and polymath.
Yeah, I was going to say she was a genius polymath.
So we're going to set up the Hospital of St. Seraphim and St. Barbara of Fresh Kills. Are there any troll saints, or saints that have been retroactively headcanoned as trolls? And if not, can we do the depictions of St. Seraphim and St. Barbara on the side of the hospital, them as trolls?
I don't know that there are. Somebody has probably made them up somewhere. To my knowledge, there aren't any in Shadowrun canon. There damn well should be, so go nuts with the painting. Get Lurtzog high and get painting.
Get Toyger high. He wrote his master's thesis on, use of light in Renaissance painting.
How is he with rattle cans?
He can give it a try.
Do you have the artisan skill?
No,
So, default to intuition.
I have art as a knowledge skill. Let's roll intuition then.
I'll let you use that knowledge skill as an assist. So roll that and then add the dice to your main roll.
Okay, so roll the 2 hits.
Okay, so you get +2.
Intuition. No hits. I basically make Monkey Jesus from the meme of many years ago.
Yeah, it's you were going for serene and ethereal. What you mostly get is constipated. You've managed to do 2 very bad trolls who look constipated. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I've suddenly remembered why I write about art, why I don't produce any of my own.
Lurtzog comes out just as you're finishing, takes one look at it, says, I know what you were going for, but that ain't leaving my yard, and just takes a rattle can of black and just sprays over it.
So is this the actual thing, or is it the case we were going to put the thing in?
This is outside of the van.
I was going to say, if that's the case, we were going to put the thing in, Toyger is just going to gently acid spray it away. No one ever needs to look at this.
So who are you actually going through to get this Valkyrie module, Huggy, if we actually bring this back to the original discussion?
The first person who I'll go to for it is Lurtzog. Lurtzog has the most random bits and bobs of stuff.
Lurtzog just looks at you and says, deals with meat and squishy bits. No.
Right. Next person is probably the gargoyle. The gargoyles? The chainsaws.
Yeah, don't go to the gargoyles. Wow, that's a blast from the past. They're just street-level thugs. So who from the chainsaws are you ringing?
Ripper is my general contact, so I'll ring Ripper first.
Alright, roll your connection with Ripper.
That's one success.
Yeah, you get a hit. He answers. What time of day are you ringing him?
This is probably late afternoon, early evening.
Alright, so he's actually likely to be awake, so you get a... Oh, Huggy! How you doing? I've not heard from you in a while.
Yeah, I've had a couple of jobs, had some other stuff to do. Repainting the vans, that sort of shit. I was hoping... one thing I was thinking of coming over, Lurtzog's. They tried to brew something, and it does weird things to your brain, and I was wondering if you guys wanted to try it out.
I mean, yeah, I'm always up for trying new drac.
Basically, what we tried to do is we've tried to distill herb, and it has produced something, certainly. Neither of us,
Hang on. You're distilling Hurl.
neither of us has gone blind yet.
I'm genuinely amazed. Alright. I'll give it a go. Frag it, I'm an orc. I can handle it. Also, who the frag is Lurtzok?
Oh, sorry, Lurtzok's a friend of mine. We get high together and occasionally make drones.
Alright, yeah, seems reasonable. I mean, Jesus Christ, whatever the frag skid marks is making, he's making a bike for somebody at the moment. He's been going out with this girl from that gang that you guys rolled a few months back. I mean, I've never seen him so
It's slightly embarrassing to say, but which one?
The magic one.
Oh yeah, the Fizzgangers.
It was way back before, the bombing and everything. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen him this happy in a while. I've also seen him not able to walk as much as he's not been able to walk recently, but that's by the by. Yeah, she's a crazy bitch. He's working on a bike for her at the moment.
So is she joining you guys, or is...
Oh, frack no. Do you think Sharifa would let her in?
Okay. I'm surprised she's letting skid marks associate with her.
Shall we say that he's not thinking with the big head?
Yeah, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. We'll pick him up and put him back together again. Possibly literally if and when he upsets her. Yeah. It's a whole thing. So, why are you after, Huggy? I mean, not that I'm not happy to hear from you, but there's usually a point to the call.
There is. I'm looking to pick up our Valkyrie module.
Huh. I mean,
like the one
maybe.
you get in Autodocs and stuff like that.
Ambulances and dreck like that. Yeah. I don't know, we might have an old ambulance kicking around the junkyard somewhere. I mean, if you want to come and have a dig through the place, you're welcome.
Always happy to come and have a dig through the junkyard.
Alright, cool. Come on over and we'll see what we can sort out for you.
Will do. Might bring a couple of the others over if you don't mind, but I'll see if anyone's free.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody want to come with Huggy to have a search through the junkyard and try the hopefully not methanol that me and Lurtzok have put together?
Absolutely, yes. Always happy to drink with chainsaws. Even better if I don't know what it is I'm drinking.
You're going to die, Toyger.
One of these days, yes.
Oh, Huggy, before you come over,
Yeah?
there's a street race going on in the next few hours. They're going to be going along Belt Parkway. You might want to avoid that.
Okay, so I've got... Oh, God. Right. Okay, I'll put that into the...
Yeah, they're...
Oh, is this...
They're going to have NYPD ink on their tail in pretty short order. Skid marks is well up for it. It's going to be a whole deal. Someone's going to die.
Almost certainly. I mean, is this with the guys, the monofilament whip things that they used to cut up other people's bikes?
Yeah, they're competing. There's also the guys that like oil slick sprayers. Everyone's got their gimmick. For us, it's chainsaws.
Yeah. Well, I wish Skid Mark's the best with that. Hopefully he survives.
I mean, if he does, his girl's going to make his night, so...
He's got the motivation then.
Yeah, I mean... I think that's why Sharifa's letting it carry on, she's able to... She's found a way to motivate him to actually do Drek, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's... Well... Keep in touch with me, what ends up happening with those two. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, either they'll go steady or she'll flay him alive, one or two. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun finding out.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, either one's entertaining, so...
Belt Parkway's out of the reach. Oh, is that means going through the center of town? Right, so I'll probably be quite late.
Okay, so the chainsaws are They're a bit of a thrill gang. They're always doing mental shit when you guys turn up. What are they doing this time? We had amateur robot wars last time. What are they doing now?
Well, in celebration of the when they win, they are going to have a fireworks show. At this point, they are having a contest to who can produce the most entertaining fireworks.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. A lot of people are losing fingers tonight.
In good news for local cyber docs.
Yeah. Dr. Malware Mender might get some business, although he's up in the Bronx, so probably not actually.
But yeah, they have two ice boxes on standby, one full of soy visor, the other which is in potentia for the fingers that are going and limbs that are going to be lost.
Yeah, so as somebody, there's a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing making bombs right now and adding fun chemicals to it to make pretty colors.
There's at least one person is sitting down with their AK-90 what is it, AK-97?
Whatever number we're up to now.
Pulling the slugs out of the bullets and pouring the powder into a tube.
Yeah.
It's a pipe bomb!
Yeah, so while this is going on, Skid Marks is sat on his bike and he's basically just oblivious to everything going on, making out with the former...
Is it the scary one?
Lieutenant from that whiz gang that you guys rolled way back before we started the podcast. Define scary one, Mav.
When we did that run, there was one member who was the scary one. Was she redheaded?
Yes.
Is it her?
Yeah, it's her. Yeah.
I remember that she lasted a fairly short amount of time under she has a special, like she looks scary, right? For turning both the LMGs on her.
Yeah, the bruises are faded by now. Yeah, she and Skid Marks are fully engrossed in each other. About all you can see is her back and the extremely tight leather trousers. You can see why Skid Marks is so into her, even if he's fragging terrified of her.
I don't think anyone can believe that Skid Marks is still around.
Skid Marks, I think that Skid Marks has already passed that point where in all motorcycling, activities, there's a certain amount of die-off. But once you make it past a certain amount of time that you've been motorcycling, people stop dying quite so regularly.
The case if you've done this and what could possibly kill you now?
Oh no, it's just you've got good enough at not dying that it's become kind of second nature.
I'll tell you what could kill you now. Your scary-ass mage girlfriend. But she's hot, so it's worth it.
I'm reasonably confident that this is him stepping outside of his area of expertise.
I mean, it's a woman, so yes. So yeah, Ripper comes over to you, Huggy, shakes your hand, says, "How you doing? I'd stay away from over there. One of them's dismantling a grenade. It's probably going to go wrong. You're looking for a Valkyrie module, was it?"
Yeah.
All right.
If you've got any old...
Well, let's have a look around the junkyard then. Let's see what we've got. I'll come with you. I'm not sure I actually want to be standing here. Chainsaws, I'm fine with. Motorcycles, awesome. Great fun. Half dismantled grenades, that's my line.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
All right, so what we will do is if you roll a perception, and I will add that to Ripper's perception as you guys look around the junkyard to see if you can find one. What's the availability on a Valkyrie module?
So availability 10.
All right, so you're likely to find one then. Okay, so give me the your perception roll, please.
Sure. That's one hit.
Oh yeah, you've gone with them, Toyger. So do you want to give me your... Actually, I'm going to say no to Toyger on this because he doesn't know what the hell he's looking for.
Also, I suspect that Toyger has already wandered off and found someone to get drunk with.
No, Toyger's like gone over to Skidmark and has been introduced to the girlfriend, and
You're
Basically,
interrupting them?
Skidmark's probably Toyger.
Of course you're interrupting them. Why wouldn't...
Well, I went and sat down nearby and like started flicking through my comm, and then she turned round, spotted the like another mage, and now.
No, she doesn't notice you, bud.
We're just sitting nearby on a faintly chair-shaped piece of scrap metal, like reading something.
She has far more interesting things to do right now.
I was going to do it as a thing of like, friend and girlfriend are now talking about common interest, while boyfriend, in this case Skidmark, sits there looking off obliviously into middle distance. But no, Toyger's just sort of sitting there reading a book.
Unfortunately, this is that sort of couple.
Yeah, they've not been together very long.
Occasionally, he'll hand over like his water bottle, and like one of them will take a drink, then hand it back to him without really being conscious that either of them have done that.
Alright, so Huggy, you and Ripper wander off into the junkyard, and you're actually at it for a few hours. I'll probably say, Toyger, you get bored of the disgusting noises coming from the bike next to you and wander off and get drunk with the chainsaws. You eventually find an old ambulance buried under a whole bunch of other crap. Hang on, is that a jackrabbit that somebody's cut and shut with a Ford America? Why would you do that? And yeah, Ripper pops the chainsaw out of his cyber arm and cuts out the Valkyrie module from the old ambulance for you and hitches it up to the forklift that he's brought out with him and drags it out with you. So if you're wanting to fit that, we'll do the rolls for it. You're able to take this Valkyrie module back in the van. Are you fitting it yourself, or are you getting any help from Lurtzog?
If Lurtzog's willing to help, I'll take as much help as I can get.
Yeah, Lurtzog will help you out with it.
And I'll see if I can find some plans on the Matrix to see if anybody else has tried to install.
I'm just going to say that you can. I can't be bothered doing rolls for that. Right. What's your dice pool for automotive mechanic now?
It's 3 plus logic, so 6.
6. So that'll be 8. What will the target number be?
Valkyrie module has threshold 6.
All right. So your target number's 6. We'll give it a roll.
I'm going to pre-edge this.
So just do the rolls and then tell me.
That is 7 hits on my first roll.
Nice. I'm not sure off this how long it would take, so I'm just going to say it takes you a day. So that will put us on. Yeah, so you'll get that done on the 4th.
Yes, that seems reasonable.
Thank you for spending some time with us and listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in to Mav's Drive Time Radio, the only station by runners for runners. You've just finished listening to the smooth tones of More Human Than Human by Carl Casey. And up next is Neon Thrills by Lukash. Let us know on Discord what hits you want to hear while you're running the shadows. Background music is also by Carl Casey, and all sound effects are credited in the show notes. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license, so if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit. See you next time, chummers.